Okay, so this is a code that is recorded by the CNCF, so please respect the code of conduct and please be kind to each other. And if you don't want to be recorded, please turn off your camera. I think that after this stuff we can start. The first point in the agenda is mine. So I will provide you with some quick update on the new patch release of Falco that will be Falco 0.32.2. And with this release, we are experimenting something new. That is the release branch. I want to thank Jason because he helped me in opening the release branch upstream, so against Falco security, because I'm not a Falco maintainer, so I'm not able to open it. And what we are doing is quite simple, because we will get the last Falco tag, so Falco 0.32.1. From this tag, we will check out a new branch that will be the release branch. And from there, we will cherry pick the only needed commit for this patch release. That is the just one commit that fixes the rule for downloading the BPF probe. So the one that Fede introduced last week. And I think this is almost all. I don't know if this is a new we can say an experiment, so I think it could be very I don't know if someone is talking or no. Okay, just something. I think this could be a very valuable feature for our project, because in the last month we have experienced some problem during the release, because we have to freeze our libraries for at least 1 month. And this is quite a pain. So if we are able to find some solution, it's a good point in my opinion. I think that's all. I don't know if someone want to add something, or Jason, if you want to say something.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for taking the lead in releasing this. Representing Falco in this release. Yeah, I've been helping. I've been part of the initial thought process. The first point from Andrea. Is the main reason why we do this. We don't want to block the active development while releasing, or at least do it as less as possible. The second point is that with the current release model, it's basically impossible to do real tiny patch releases like this one, in which we only need to change one tiny piece of code, because basically we don't start from the latest tag, we just start from master. This is like a good opportunity to test out how heavy this process is. I think it's quite common for other open source projects, so I don't expect this to create problems. There are some choices to make in the future, because as Andrea said, the strategy is to have a release branch, which basically shifts the complexity of stalling the mainline development to more work to the release manager. So there probably the Git confidence will be a little bit higher in requirements for the next releases. And at the same time, there's a privileged topic to deal with, because we can create a release branch as maintainers in the Falco security organization. But if the release manager is not a maintainer of that repo, they cannot push to the branch. So the strategy we are approaching right now with Andrea is the least privileged mode, is basically to create a branch on another fork, in this case Andreas, and then cherry picking in that branch, and at the end of the process opening a PR against the real release branch of the Falco security repo. So basically we have two release branches, one the official one, and one the actively maintained one by the release manager. It's sort of maybe a matter of documenting this stuff. So after this first experiment, I will probably take care of writing some documents to explain the process. And the goal here is to speed up development in the libraries and in Falco for the future. So that's it, I think. The key part of this release is just to fix the driver loader during the BPF probe downloading part, because it's now broken because it doesn't fetch the architecture in the URL. So yeah.
I think this approach of having like a separate branch from the actual release branch will actually have like another benefit that you might not be seeing now, which is that you can actually test your release branch before having it merged into the actual release branch.
That's
So
true.
it should also give you like a cleaner history of what's going on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Go, Andrea.
Go on, go on. No, I want just to add that you can find all this information in the issue, and also the link to my fork and the branch in my fork and the branch upstream that Jason opened.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this will be far from me magical. So this means that if we are in the process of releasing and we create PRs that touch basically the whole code base, like for example, it's happening in the last few weeks for libscap, it will basically be impossible to cherry pick without tampering the whole release branch. So we may expect some difficulties in the future using this method, but it will still be better than what we have right now. So I'm glad we're trying to approach this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. So I will go on with the next topic. It is from Luca.
Thank you. So last week I started mentioning this, but I've got a couple of updates that people might be interested in regarding unit testing and general testing for Falco and especially the libs, and in this case libsysp. So we have a bit of a problem there because the test coverage for libsysp itself is very low. So I'm trying to help increase that coverage. And to do that, last week I've merged a PR. I will add the URL that allows you to express any sequence of events and then use a filter or a string that you would use normally in Falco and make sure that after the event processing, you will actually have the correct result. Now, this is something a bit of a ask for help, especially for people that are downstream. Right now, we don't have an actual test suite connected to this, but I know that people that are downstream have extensive test suites that are also end-to-end and other things. And I have noticed the breakages in the last releases, let's say, that happened in the last 6 to 8 months. So it would be fantastic if you could have either tests to add, or if you have ideas, we can work together and we can try and add them, because the test framework is not straightforward to implement, and so it might have bugs on its own. So we probably want to go over that. We might want to go over that together. And the second update about this is that I am currently working. Actually, I got it working 5 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago on a bit of support for address sanitizer tests. If you don't know what address sanitizer or ASAN is, essentially it's kind of a light Valgrind. So it will trace your allocations and everything, and it will output in case you've got memory leaks or if you've got buffer overflows or this kind of things. And I will open a PR very shortly to make our current tests and our current structures work with that without any complaints for either potential overflows that are actually nothing serious, or either memory leaks that are essentially cases where you are not on the happy path, then some parts of our code are leaking some memory, nothing serious again, but I will essentially, the way I found to fix that is to use the smart pointers a bit more heavily than before. So we've got a bunch of unique pointers that are very much fun, and I'm getting rid of the few virtual destructors that are more fun than unique pointers, and so that's the update. Please, if you have any question, you can ask, or you can ask me, or I will also add to the agenda the link to the PR so that you can take a look. Thanks.
I do have one small question regarding how you compile with address sanitizer. Are you adding some flag or like a separate compilation target, like release debug address sanitizer, or some way to enable it? separately from the unit tests?
Yeah, so basically it's very simple to enable address sanitizer. It's just a matter of adding C flags, CXX flags, and linker flags. And the idea is that you get in the CI or whatever, you get a new, it's not a target, you get just a new build directory that builds with address sanitizer. You can use it, and I use it even without unit tests. So you can just run the entire thing, and you do that during development. I found countless mistakes in my code by just running it with ISAN. Of course, it's not meant for production; it's just meant for testing. And also, if I can. If you allow me to read your mind a little bit, end-to-end tests would greatly benefit from this, I think.
Exactly.
It's so easy, you will see it.
I was going to implement that for the next step of my end-to-end test. So, but if you do that for me, then all the better.
Okay, not too much test, guys. Okay.
We need tests, more tests.
Yes, too much test.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's never too much tests unless they're flaky. I mean, if they're flaky.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
So, go on, please.
do you know the minimum compiler version to use that? Luca?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
The minimum compiler version.
Minimum compiler version with the address sanitizer.
So I actually, it's a great question. I've been using address sanitizer personally. I've been using it for close to 10 years, maybe a bit less, since 2014, I believe. So it's been around for a while. But the problem is back then it was only supported in Silang, and I'm using my current GCC for now. So I didn't actually check which is the minimum required version for it to work. Maybe Mauro knows a bit more.
I think
because a while ago I wanted to use that in my project, and I didn't have that, and I was crying.
I think GCC added it in 4.8 or something. Like it's really old. It's that.
All right, we'll check.
Okay, so we can go on with the next topic. I see a lot of update from Leo, so please, Leo, go on.
Yes, actually, I've not really a lot, a very quick update. I want just to share some tasks that the maintainers are doing recently. Basically, we are in the process of starting a new security audit for Falco. We are doing that with Ostif, that is a company that partners with the CNCF. Now are just in the kickoff phase of that. Some of maintainers in this call are already aware about that because they participated in the call. This will take long. We don't know how long. They told us that on average it could take like 4 months. The outcome of this process will be a lot of bug fixes, I hope, but also a detailed report that will be published as like the one we did in the 2019. Another update is that we are working on a draft. Mostly I and Jason worked with on it, and also we integrated a lot of the early feedback from maintainers, but also from emeritus maintainers. Basically, why we are updating our governance mainly for 2 reasons. There are a lot of ambiguities that we are trying to solve. Some of these ambiguity raised up during the maintainer review. And the second point is because there are a lot of rules and things that we are doing that were not documented. For example, the lazy consensus. De facto, the Falco maintainers and the community of Falco always worked on the lazy consensus, but never write it on our governance. So in a spirit of being more transparent, more precise, less ambiguous, we are trying to document everything. The next step on this task are, we want to ask tag contributor strategy, the CNCF tag contributor strategy for advice. I really believe that they can help us to improve our governance and maybe give valuable suggestion. I also will open up request very soon. Currently, I just put the link of the branch, and when the request is open, we will probably send an announcement. I would say a request for comment or something like that to the whole community, because this is a draft, and of course we want feedback from everyone. Okay, so anyone that wants to comment or send feedback is welcome. The process, I don't know how this process will last, but for sure at some point when we think the new document is ready and is okay for everyone, we will vote on that. As a maintainer, we will vote on that. Those are the updates regarding some maintainer tasks that are going on. That's it. Andrea, you are mute. We don't hear you.
Yeah, so that's my fault because he moved the.
I know you were explaining the latest DFF code you wrote today, but nobody heard about that. Sorry.
Yeah, my fault. Okay, so we have the last point from Luca again.
Thanks, Andrea. So since I've been working quite a lot on the libs recently in the past few months, and I would love to ask maintainers their opinion about proposing myself as a maintainer for the libs repo, if they would like me to review the code and to be part of the Falco organization.
On my side, a big +1, because Luca helped a lot in a lot of pull requests, in a lot of review, in the framework test, in gvisor, in a lot of stuff. So no brainer. A big +1 for me.
Big +1 also for me, especially after all the effort is spent in the gvisor feature.
Absolutely, completely agree too. A lot of effort you made, a lot of contributions, and you are also helping us implementing tests, which we need more of, even if Andrea doesn't want to.
Thanks a lot, maintainers. I will add the PR so you can take a look. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. I think that's all. We have no highlights. So there is, I don't know if there is someone new in the call, if he wants to introduce himself or not.
Yeah, there should be Ram from Oracle that wrote in the chat. Ram, are you here?
Hello, was that an invitation for me to introduce myself?
Yes, go.
Hey, folks, apologies, I'm not on camera, but next time I join, I will be in camera. Appreciate the opportunity here to introduce myself. My name is Ram Kailas Nathan. I lead open source and CNCF efforts within Oracle, along with developer programs as well. So I'm my title is head of open source and developer programs. And I have a team of program managers and engineers working for me to help me lead this initiative. And my goal within Oracle is to actively talk about CNCF and open source projects and get as many developers as possible interested in contributing to open source. And as part of that, we are still in the crawl phase, I would say, in terms of figuring out how to get all of this done. One of my biggest goals is to, if an engineer signs up for being part of the program, then I'll work with her or his manager to ensure that the CNCF contribution is part of their yearly goals. So everything is documented as work as opposed to doing things on the sideline. That's really the bigger objective. And as you know, CNCF has got 130 projects, and so which ones to choose? So I sat down with a number of internal stakeholders and figured out that 4 key projects are going to be key for us for Oracle Cloud. Kubernetes, obviously, we offer a Kubernetes managed service. Then we have Thanos, Falco, and Crossplane. So those are the 4 projects that we look forward to contributing in a consistent way. Of course, developers in their own free time, they can contribute to other projects as well. But as a program, we're going to track these 4 projects. And as of now, I have got 15 volunteers across Oracle Cloud willing to contribute. And now all of them may not join the Falco, but I'm at least hoping to bring along 2 to 4 developers who will contribute, who will work at least 4 hours a week. And initially beginning with attending this meeting on a weekly basis. And also, I'll also be joining the call. We'll take notes and look forward to first showing our consistency in the group, like being part of the group, and offering, with a good team spirit, and offering, whatever we can do to, earn the team player tag first. And then as things go along, as opportunities increase, and, we look forward to contributing more. That's really our objective as part of joining this. I appreciate the welcome note from few of you. Thank you.
I can just say that's awesome. At any moment, just contact us. We are also really active in the Falco channel on the Kubernetes Slack. So feel free to write there, present yourself or your contributor. And we as a maintainer, but I believe all the community will be very will be very happy to help you in onboarding process, to work together, and so on.
Got it. One quick clarification question now from I believe that sometimes time zone matters, and it feels like some of you must be in EMEA region, and is that is your entire team in EMEA? And the only reason I'm asking is because I have interest from EMEA folks, APAC and US. And so I'm just trying to figure out if we want to align the volunteers as close as possible, or are you spread across multiple geos?
No, we are across multiple time zones. Although most maintainers are from Europe, but for example, also this call there is Fred and Terry that are from USA.
Makes sense. And I may have one request for one of the maintainers. We will start an internal call with just the Falco members or with the 15 contributors. Sometimes, if a maintainer joins the call, it will give these young volunteers, although they're not young in their profession, they're beginning their journey. Some of them are beginning their journey in the open source, but they're senior engineers or principal engineers. We're not targeting any junior engineers to come and join the program. We're targeting, what we call as senior engineers, and I would say senior engineers is what we are targeting. We might get some junior engineers, some principal engineers, but we are targeting senior engineers. I'm thinking of hosting a small call, a kickoff call, where I'm going to invite all, extend the invitation to all the maintainers of these 4 projects. Meaning, when I say at least, my hope is that if 2 or 3 maintainers join the call, then you can provide your perspective. Instead of me explaining things to them about what are the best practices, you can share with them 5 minutes, and that would mean a lot for these volunteers.
Sure. That's a great idea, in my opinion.
I have a few words about that. This is my job, basically, to improve the user experience for adopters, developers, maintainers, and so on. So I agree, Ram. We lack that kind of content, but we have a big difficulty about that. Falco is a really complicated piece of software, and juniors, especially junior developers, are often not able to contribute a lot because it's important for Falco to have a big knowledge about syscall, about how the kernel works, and so. But the ecosystem of Falco is bigger than just the Falco itself. We have now plugins, for example, and most of plugins, basically all plugins, are currently written in Golang, and the frameworks behind is quite easy to understand and it's quite easy to contribute. So for graduation, but not only for that. Sorry, I will try to speak a little bit lower. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe Thomas, the gain of your mic is a bit higher, in my opinion. Yeah, we don't hear very clear.
Should be better now.
Okay.
You're able to hear me okay?
The amplification.
Yeah.
So for the incoming graduation, we are working on a refactorization of the documentation of falco.org/docs. We want more getting started for either developers, either adopters. And this kind of pattern help people to be introduced into Falco and into its ecosystem to contribute more. It's one of our goals. We don't have a perfect solution because we can't set up meeting, a webinar for every week to introduce people into Falco. But I think with the last changes about libs, about test infra, about drivers kit, etc., it's easier for people to be involved more closely with the development. And like I said 2 minutes ago, I don't know if you get because of the my microphone was too loud. I think with the plugins we have opportunity for people to contribute to impactful things for Falco. And we created docs, we created blog posts about that. And if a company like Oracle, which provides a lot of different services, a lot of different features, you surely have events, especially security events from your services. If we are able to collect these events and inject them into Falco, it means Falco will be able to protect applications running in OCI from the bottom to the hub, to the top, because we have all levels protected by Falco. This is something we are already discussing with some folks from Oracle. You can reach me on Slack and we can discuss right after that if you want. We met them at the KubeCon EU in last April, May.
Yeah.
Maybe you're already aware of that. And we are also trying to integrate Falco into the Oracle marketplace, like we did for Amazon. So all that kind of topic are relevant to help people to contribute to Falco. And I can also share with you, I created a slide deck about which contributions we need for Falco, not only development contributions. We need help with blog posts, webinar, documentation redaction, etc., etc. I have the link. I will try to find it quickly and post it in that channel before we leave.
Thank you so much. Now, I am, I'm having some difficulties figuring out the Slack thing, right? I'm joined the Kubernetes, the CNCF Slack channel, but all I get is like, add teammates. Like, I don't know how to get to the Falco channel, like, for example, maybe one of you might.
Let me share our community repository that has all the links to join the channel.
You can put your nickname and we can invite you directly in the Slack channel.
Yeah.
If you share your nickname.
And when I say 15 people have signed up, I'm just talking about SDEs, right? I'm not counting about the PMs. We have like plenty of interest in PMs, and sometimes I don't want to oversell ourselves. I'm equally cautious about it. This is the first time we are doing this. I don't know. So every day when I get up, I'm actually a little bit fearful. Like this has to work. If people have to come and do it, it's not like one day, right? This is our first meeting. You are very you're giving me 10 minutes of your precious time discussing this because we are showing sincere intent. But that has to follow through in terms of actions, and then we have to genuinely contribute. And so look forward to all of this. I appreciate the links here. And Thomas, if you can, start an email thread. I can even start an email thread. If you share with me your email address, I'll send a note to all the maintainers, just sending a formal introduction email and sincerely thanking you. In that way, as part of next steps, you can actually add OCI folks into that thread, and I'll follow up with them offline. All the folks within OCI know that this is going on right now. So I will send an email to both of you, and I'm just copying all the links here into my doc. So I have all of that handy. And next week, I'm hoping to have the team members join me for this. So that's really what I'm hoping to achieve between now and next week. And I can contribute to blogs. I'm a PM myself. I look forward to contributing. I used to work for Symantec. My background is security and storage product management. That's what I did before this. And so very excited about it. At OCI, there's a lot of security initiatives going on. So when we invite engineers, we'll ensure that engineers who have security experience and who are at IC, what we call as IC3 level or IC4 level, we'll invite them because of the complexity of this project. Okay, sincere thanks, folks. I'll pause here and appreciate all the great introduction, and look forward to the next steps here.
Thank you.
Information, I'm off for the next 2 weeks. I'm on holidays with my son, so don't worry if you don't receive an answer from me.
Consider that in Europe, most of people will take a summer break during August. I will be available all the month this year.
Okay. Thank
you. So in case you got delayed response, you know why.
Thank you. Thank you so much, folks.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
If I can add, there is a mailing list just for the maintainers of the whole projects in our repositories. And I think if you start maybe a mail thread there, you will probably get visibility over maintainers that are not here in this call. So that will be a good thing to involve everyone. Second, I think this is fantastic. Thank you for joining and doing this.
Thank you so much.
I feel like this is the right moment too, because over the past few months, we refactored part of the C++ code base, and we are registering many more contributions over the last few months. Sorry. So I think the code base and the learning curve are getting more positive day by day. So excited to have you, with us, and looking forward to do great things. Don't hesitate to ask for help for introduction, the code base, and everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ram, for your exhaustive introduction. And if you please can add your name in who joined section in the committee, so we know that you joined the call.
Where should I join? You sent a note saying there was a hack MD. Is that the link where I should add myself?
I can share the link of this committee maybe in this chat here.
Yeah, I think we have it.
Where is the chat? I think that
I have it, folks. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I will do that after this call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll let you guys carry on. I'm hoping to be part of all these calls every week, taking notes and sort of working with my OCI counterparts, making sure that they contribute in the most effective manner. And I plan to do that not just for Falco. I plan to do that for Thanos. I plan to do that for Crossplane. And so really being part of all these critical meetings and the weekly meetings and just, taking notes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all your effort.
Thank you.
And I think we have no more point in the agenda, no more wiki highlights. So the last big one question, if we will have next MC for the next tour. I think I know the response, but yeah, we will write maybe it on the Falco channel for the next week. So I thank you all and have a good evening or morning or whatever. And thank you very much for joining this call.